welcome to Online Seller UK podcast. My name is Prabhat, founder at Online Seller UK, and today we've got really interesting topic. It's called using retail signals for Amazon ads, and I'm joined by Neha, who is a founder of Atom 11. So Neha, welcome to our podcast.
Thank you so much, Prabhat. Thank you so much for having me on such
Excellent,
a great platform.
excellent. So I think it's good for you to introduce yourself and about Atom 11 before we dive into conversation.
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Neha Bhuchar. I am ex-Amazon and the founder of Atom 11. Um, Prior to starting Atom 11, I spent 6 years at Amazon, and I was one of the founding members of the Amazon advertising team. So I not only come with a domain expertise, but I literally build the tools that we all use today in terms of Amazon advertising. Um, with that domain expertise, we're building Atom 11. Atom 11 is meant to be an Amazon Copilot, which means we're going to be doing end-to-end e-commerce management. We've started with a niche, which is, of course, the majority of our domain expertise, which is Amazon advertising. And we've added our own flavor to it and bringing in retail aware advertising for full service agencies and brands. So that's what.
Right. Okay. Cool. So it's interesting that you said that you were part of the advertising team when you started. It's interesting. So I come from well, sounds very old, but when I started working with Amazon accounts, there was no ads as such. So we used to put
Okay.
products, we used to put products in, and then it used to sell. But now look what has happened. So, right, let's go into the topic. So, what are retail signals or retail aware?
Yeah. Retail signals are signals that you get from your Amazon account. So inventory, pricing, your organic conversion, your competition or digital shelf. All of these things, they actually impact your advertising more than we actually can think of. Actually, I would also add into your organic conversion, it actually also includes your content quality, so on and so forth, right? So retail aware advertising means that you actually take into account all of these things and then make changes or set up automations for your account. Because in that way, you not only you end up saving money, increasing sales, increasing ROAS, because now you're very close to the reality.
Okay. So, so when products are listed, so Amazon now is a little bit clever than what it used because they ask for a lots of information already than what it was a few years back. So, so when somebody lists the product, are they, I wouldn't say automatically, but are they not more or less there in terms of information that needs to be retail aware?
Yeah. So Amazon advertising, yes, Prabhat. So to an extent, Amazon advertising is already a little bit retail aware.
Sure.
So let me explain how. Um, Amazon will pause your ads if you go out of stock. Amazon will pause your ads if you lose your buy box, right? But
Okay.
that's about it. Amazon has to build a scalable solution which can be used by millions of sellers, right? So it cannot really go into more customizations or more retail aware, but a software can. So, we can build in customizations or, even at your own automation levels, you can start building in automations which are, more retail aware, which can be aware in terms of inventory. If you're low stock, pause your ads. Your competition, if your competition goes out of stock, increase your ad spends. If your competition has increased their pricing, increase your ad spends, so on and so forth. These kind of things Amazon will never do because they need to build a product which is serving so many people, right? So those kind of customizations happen or they are possible when you actually start bringing in a lot of data, lot of retail data and digital shelf data in one place, and then use those signals to run your advertising. So while just to answer your question, TLDR or in summary, yes, it is a little bit retail aware, but going forward, we need more of it so that we can make our advertising more efficient.
Okay. Okay. Excellent. So, well, you've talked about efficiency now. You've started talking about efficiency. I think we are now all many years from the starting of the ads, a lot of people are very, I would say, some experience is there already there with a lot of retailers now. A lot of them
Yeah,
are thinking of building that efficiency. But obviously, there is lack of time because some may have thousands of inventory coming in and out, and others may have small amount of inventory, but there is a lack of time management. So, talk me through this. What's your thought about efficiency and how you built Atom 11 to
yeah,
give a better result to a retailer?
yeah. So there are three steps to framework. Step number one is aggregation. Step number two is analysis. And step number three is automation. So let me walk you through it. Aggregation means that you start bringing together all of Amazon data in one place. So start from unification of Amazon retail data with Amazon advertising data, and then start unifying this with digital shelf. So, search ranks, bestseller ranks, so on and so forth, right? So that part becomes the aggregation part. So one source of truth for all your Amazon data. Point number two is analysis. Now, the platform itself looks at data or is intelligent enough to give you suggestions as to when to take action. For example, hey, seasonality is coming, or this for specific product A, in season is approaching, you should be increasing your spends. Or competition is going out of stock, you should be increasing your spends. So those kind of analytics should be done by the software itself and give you that data because frankly, as an agency or as a brand who has many products, let's say hundreds or thousands of products in their portfolio, it's almost impossible to actually go through all of these things and then take um, take advantage of those sales opportunities. So that is the analysis part. And the last one is automation. So now that you have all the data, you have what is the action that you need to take, you should be able to automate it. For example, uh, simple rules, right? Like if competition is going out of stock, do X. If my inventory is low or less than 15 days, do Y, right? Those kind of automation. So that's our framework, and that's how we are building Atom 11, or we built Atom 11. That is the three pronged framework, which is of aggregation, analysis, and automation, so that you actually cover the whole journey in one place.
Okay, no, that's cool. That's pretty cool. And what you're saying about looking at the competition, I think that may be the game changer because people do want to look at the inventory. If a competitor doesn't have much inventory left, um, yeah, maybe the system will lower the cost by not bidding too hard, which is
Mhm.
interesting. Okay, cool. So before we started recording, you were talking about you have some brands already, you have some agencies working with you already. So talk to us. If it is a brand, how can they take a little bit advantage, and what sort of advantage they have? And if it is agency, what sort of advantage they have by
Hmm.
using Atom 10, Atom 11, sorry.
No problem. So let's take it one by one. Let's start with an agency and then we'll go to the brand side. For agencies, I think there are two or three main issues or main things that agencies want to uh, cover when it comes to how they're dealing with a brand. Point number one, and I think this is not talked about a lot, Prabhat, is communication. Communication between an agency and a brand is so important, right? How they are communicating, the impact that they are driving, or how they are communicating the kind of issues that they are facing, so on and so forth. So that's something that Atom 11 covers because of the aggregation part. So because we are able to bring data together in one place, we built things like root cause analyzer so that the agency knows exactly why sales are fluctuating. And 9 times out of 10 when advertising or any sales drop, brands just come back to the agency and say, hey, something went wrong in advertising. So that communication gets better when people are given platforms like a root cause analyzer. They're able to look at it and tell the brand, hey, it was not advertising. It was probably because you increased your pricing, or maybe you were not in stock. You were just 35% in stock this entire month, so on and so forth. Point number two is automation. Point number two is reporting. Um, Bringing data together and making it available to you in the format that you want. Um, you may want data in one format for one brand and another format for another brand. So that is something that we saw because of the aggregation as well as the analytics part, because we're able to do that together. Bring reports in a way that you want to look at it. And the last one is, of course, automation. Uh, the quality of automation of taking multiple actions or bulk actions in one place, so that you're able to save time and actually use that time for strategizing, is something that the software helps. Um, for the brands, uh, the most important use case, Prabhat, I think I have been in this industry for 6 years, 6, 7 years now. The most important use case for a brand is competition. I think come what may, even if you give them all the automations in the world, I think their first use case is always competition. So I think for the brands, the figuring out operational gaps, which is through our digital shelf service, right? Giving them alerts on what is happening to the competition. Is the competition increasing pricing, decreasing pricing, so on and so forth, is the first use case always when it comes to brands. Second, in terms of brands, they have always appreciated our analytics part more than the automation part, because what they believe is that it kind of takes them about 10 to 15 hours a week just to aggregate data from multiple sources. And so just bringing that together in one place, being able to answer to their bosses that, hey, this is what has gone wrong, or this is why the trends are off, has been very important to them. And of course, because they are managing all of these things in house, the last thing that comes in is of course the automations. So I think at this point, automations have also become slightly commoditized. That these are the 5 or 6 types of automations which are available in all tools. Of course, that saves time. Of course, that gives a lot of leverage to brands as well as agencies. But it is also the other things that bring, the story that brings in, right? That how are you actually dealing with the data that we provide, the digital shelf, the root cause analysis, so on and so forth, and how that comes together with advertising.
Okay, I think you've nailed it right there. So with regards to analytics, I think brands do want it, and they want it fast and quick, which is good. So
Yes.
yes, so thank you for talking to me today, Neha. So before we close today, is there anything else you want to add to the podcast?
No, I mean, if you think Atom 11 is something that would solve, your use cases, feel free to write to me. I'm available at neha@atom11.co. I can send you my email, Prabhat, after this. And yeah, I'm more than happy to talk to you, have a discussion, understand your use cases, and see how we can help.
Excellent. Thanks again for your time today. I'll speak to you soon. All the best.
Bye.
Thank you.